To speak of faces doesn't limit our description to those that refer to the image we see in the mirror to the early hours of the morning. The environment and nature represent the side of the face we identify in different regional contexts and different landscapes. In the same manner the expression of our face can reflect the condition on which we live for others to see, the natural riches that a certain region possesses can be equally manifested. Both the vegetable and the animal heirloom are a reflection and consequence of a certain balance, an equilibrium that takes part of its surroundings. A part of the living being is not always seen as such. 80% of the vegetation of the Lower California Peninsula's territory is constituted by bushes and is located in the wildlife preserve of the Valle de los Cirios, on the coastal slope of the peninsula. 4% is constituted by pine and holm oak forests. 9% is shrublands in the Juarez and San Pedro Martin mountain ranges highland. Along with the dunes that fence the coast and the natural palm tree groves are the mountain range highlands, and 7% of our soil is designated for farming. The phytogeography studies the land and the direct relationship between the plants on the top of it. The variety of plants on our state is directly linked with the regions and landscapes, where their ecology is composed. There is two phytogeographical regions in the Californian, and also called Mediterranean region, and the Central Desert, which is also called the Sonora Desert. All plant species are directly linked and affected by the weather conditions and presence of water bodies of their territory. The region's insolation is a continental block makes of our peninsula an authentic center of a species of all others and particularly animals and plants. Baja California is a land with evident abundance of endemic species, term which refers to the animals and plants that exist exclusively on the particular geographic zone, and this floristic biodiversity is the result of the unique geography that holds the particular characteristics regarding the weather, one of the manifest self-Mediterranean type to the desert type. But the ecology of our land as we know it nowadays is not a product of days or months, but actually is an infinity of climatic changes which date from different geological periods of time, such as Cenozoic, Miocene, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. And along with all these changes in the physiology of the landscape, so did the flora and fauna face the passage of the time until it shaped into the nature we see before our eyes in our present day. The type of flora that characterizes our ecology the most are the shrublands, which thrive around the edges of non-permanent water bodies in the weather which scarcely provides rain weather. Given the evident diversity on different parts of the peninsula, when speaking of flora, we are also referring to a very simple category based on flora communities. These are regions that divide the California peninsula in 5 sectors: marshes, sand dunes, coastal shrublands, thickets, and pine forests. On the other hand, the northeastern region of the Sonora Desert is divided in 4 flora communities, from which only 3 are found in our state's territory: bushes, cactuses, and some varieties of the agave, yuccas, elephant trees, and among others. The global change marks environmental tendencies that may not be defined in climatic history of the recent past. There are certain indicators such as the average year temperature, carbon dioxide concentration in the air, and ultraviolet radiation that pinpoint a very probable decrease on the rains in Baja California. Thus, most biological diversity will face their consequence. Given the relative ease of the endemic flora to stretch itself among almost any artificial environment, preservation efforts can be made. There are different groups of focus on this task. From a utilitarian point of view, biodiversity manifests itself in nourishment, raw materials, air purification, water capture, erosion diminishment, bacterial availability, mushroom gathering that represent utility from the pharmaceutical enterprise, etc. From an ecological point of view, knowing, protecting, and spreading of flora is the key to a balance that not only carries importance for the floristic entity, but to the fauna and the food chain that flows as the life cycle that surrounds and forms the landscape, the face of our land, and the lives of those who dwell on it. On this sense, the endemic life, especially the vegetation that naturally develops in our regional geography, provides a face that shapes the region's identity. Don't miss the chance to get to know it and inform yourself on its characteristics and actions you can take to help to preserve it. We'd like to invite you to find this panoramic face on the flora of Baja California, as well as follow the threads of all the stories we have for you. Learn, share, and comment, all with Vitamina C.